And welcome to episode 5 of Papi Jae Wize El Jefe. I am Wize.
And I am Papi Jae.
And we are here on the BS3 network. What's going on, brother?
Hey, it's been a relaxing day, gloomy, a lot of rain. So it was one of them lazy days.
All right. So we started a Facebook group for our production company, Real Wise Productions, and we put a poll. We put a poll on there, and we said, what did they want as the opening segment for Papi Jae Wize El Jefe? And they came back with this. What are you sipping on? And me, personally, right now, I'm sipping on a red raspberry Moscato. It's Tomasello Winery. So, yeah, I'm just enjoying me a nice fruity Moscato.
And me, I'm sipping on Tate Quieto, and it's a Puerto Rican rum made straight out the backyard.
Yeah, out of his uncle's backyard. Yeah, he's made out of his uncle's backyard.
Listen, definitely.
But yeah, it's for those that don't know what Tate Quieto means. It means be still, and when you drink that, you will be still. You will.
Yes. If you don't drink it correctly, you definitely will be still for a while.
So if you drink it incorrectly, you might be still permanently. All right, so
it's not a good taste though.
That's why I don't drink
some fruit. You gotta add more fruit to it. Gotta come up. I gotta work on it.
Well, this is a
pre-trial.
This is a red raspberry Moscato.
What's that, dry?
Honestly, I don't know. I guess I do know the difference. Dry is the what, like when it goes down your mouth and it's like what? I don't.
Tardy to me. Like
is this more fruit? No, this is fruity. This is much fruitier.
Yeah, dry tastes like chalk after you done.
Yeah, no, it's not dry. No. The other one I had when we was together at Coco's house, that wine was definitely dry.
Yeah, I can't do dry.
It was oh man, what was it? It was a Shiraz. That's what it was. It was a Shiraz. It was pretty good. I was nice and I was nice that day.
I'm trying to get a hold of some De Leon, man, the Japanese whiskey, but it's hard to find.
I've never had it. I might look. I'll see. I might try. See if I can find it.
I'm a whiskey guy.
Yeah, yeah, for everybody who knows me, I'm a 420 guy.
420 guy. That goes without saying.
Yeah, definitely. All right, so we're gonna do let's go into trending topics. So there's a lot of things going on.
Word.
Yes, there's a lot of things going on. KD is staying in Brooklyn. I guess they told him that they weren't going to trade his behind, and he's not going anywhere. He's staying in Brooklyn. LeBron signed an extension with the Lakers, 97 point something million for 2 years. What else is out there?
I'm sad that I'm mad. Those are trending. Well, KD is annoying. This whole thing with Brooklyn is annoying. It's very disappointing. I'm hurt inside, deep.
You're hurt inside, like you're upset that you would support such a player.
No, and then I was this close to start buying their jerseys. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got to make sure they was committed.
But they committed now. They committed.
I don't trust them though.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? This year they committed. They don't win. Next year they'll be upset. I don't know. They threw me off. Like, I respect whatever this is, everybody's allowed to do what they're supposed to do. But if he think his legacy ain't tainted,
So you think his legacy is tainted?
what? I thought other people cried. I thought other people whined and cried and stuff like that, or just tantrums. Like, come on, you. I don't know. I don't know how much. I mean, greed, when it supersedes the. People say they love the game, but there's a whole power thing going on. I ain't mad because the powers that be has already had it too long, and they annoying. But come on, man, there's better ways to go about things than the way the Nets has been going.
Yeah, listen, the Nets are the victims in this because they've tried to make KD happy. They signed they united him and Kyrie, right? When they first signed, KD wasn't playing because he had torn his Achilles, so he missed the whole year. And they gave DeAndre Jordan a bag that this guy was way past his prime, and they paid him because KD wanted DeAndre Jordan.
Listen, they did it with Paul Pierce and them. So I can't. From this point on, Brooklyn is
it's different. It's different because you got those in that trade. You got 3 aging stars, right? You got 3 aging stars.
Well, what did they get from it?
They didn't get anything from it.
And that's what I'm talking about, man.
But at least KD, you still have him in his prime.
Yeah,
you didn't have KG in his prime. You didn't have Paul Pierce in his prime.
I'm just saying, all the other things they gave up way too much.
Oh, the Nets, they gave up way too. They got fleeced by Danny Ainge, and that's what Danny Ainge is trying to do right now.
All right,
to the Knicks.
So
he's trying to do that. He's trying to do that to the Knicks right now, and the Knicks aren't trying to have that.
How are the Nets the victim if they gave up the farm? If they allowed themselves to get fleeced?
But I'm talking about in the KD situation.
Listen, I don't.
Because
I just want them to play.
You gave KD the free agent bag. He was injured. He didn't play for that year. Then the next year, which was last year, he didn't play. He played, but he was still injured quite a few times. And you had the situation with Kyrie, and then you had James Harden quit on the team, and then you trade one headache for another, and you think you're gonna get Ben Simmons back, and this dude pulls, oh, my back, I can't play, I gotta have surgery, and like there goes the season. You get swept in the first round,
and they are the victim because
of everything that just happened.
Man, they knew he was hurt. They didn't even know where his mind state was at. So when they took him, they was just hopes and prayers, man. That was all it was, man. They took a gamble, and boy, did it make a lot of news. But nobody won nothing.
No, because Philly didn't make it as far as everybody thought they would make it.
They better get their thing together because if everybody else get their thing together, they ain't gonna have a shot. So they better get their mind right. Oh, I just want 1 year of them, and then KD can do whatever he want next year. Cry, run.
They owe you a run.
1 year.
They owe you one run.
That's for coming to Brooklyn with that, You don't come to Brooklyn with that, man.
Like they owe Brooklyn a run, one run. If you can give this run, and if it's successful, then extend it.
Misrepresentation is why they owe this run. You come to Brooklyn.
They misrepresented.
Wade misrepresented Brooklyn, man. He had an opportunity to represent the borough. Like, what?
They don't realize if you win Brooklyn, if you bring a championship to Brooklyn, you're the king. You're not realizing this.
Man, listen, anyone, New York, anything, but
as I'm saying, you bring a championship to New York, you're the king.
They played themselves. Well, they ain't played themselves. They was hurt. Kyrie got his right to believe what he wants.
Kyrie's selfish.
I just think at some point, if you take a stand back as a business person, it's getting out of control. You can't be just strong on me when you feel like it. They're gonna mess it up for the players to come. It's gonna be a lot more difficult for the players.
The league is gonna crack down on that. The league is gonna crack. Listen, this requesting a trade in the middle of a fresh contract you sign. Nah. They're gonna start honoring their contracts. The league is always gonna find a way to
set it back.
Yeah.
Set it back a couple.
Definitely.
I don't know nothing else trending. It wasn't too much on my.
Tell me, it's been a quiet week.
School is coming back. This is what happens when everybody got to get back to adulting.
Okay.
When everybody got to get back to adulting, man, it gets quiet because now everybody got to scrape up that money that some of them trips was too much. Some of them trips, someone took too many trips. It's going to be quiet for a while.
We'll see. But earlier today I recorded a show. I was a guest on the show. I had a good time, and it was a show about your life in your 40s and reaching some big accomplishment, like finding like how I feel like I found my purpose with my podcast and what I'm doing. It was a real good show. I had a great time with her.
That sounds like a good conversation.
Yeah. So let's take a quick break. We'll be back, and I don't know. I haven't decided what topic we're gonna hit up with right next.
If you're looking for a sports program that gives you the flavor,
Washington Commanders? Really?
This whole thing stinks to high heaven.
that pulls no punches,
Thuggish act by a thuggish actor.
that gives you some humor,
Praise everything LeBron does and never criticize it.
if you want a show that gives you good times, then this is that show.
I am Cole Johnson, and welcome to
Go Sports with a Z. Every Friday on Patreon and every Saturday on YouTube, Spreaker, and all other outlets.
All right, and we're back. So I thought about it. There was a topic we touched on earlier this week. It was dealing with vasectomies, where if a man got a vasectomy knowing that his wife wanted to have a child, and for years, he didn't tell her for years that he had gotten a vasectomy.
Yeah.
So he had not gotten for years. He didn't tell his wife that he had gotten a vasectomy, and knowing that she was trying to get pregnant,
He played along with all the hurdles. That's what I'm saying. Is that
what? So the thing was that considered what, cheating? What was that?
I said was that because it all started with the vasectomy thing, and it was
Yes.
like, what is that? What as a man would I consider that as a means of birth control? So she was asking me, instead of her getting on birth control or us using.
Okay, but
condoms,
what I'm saying, but that's not. But what I want to know is it wrong for the man not to tell his wife that he has a vasectomy?
and that's where it gets sketchy at, because and this is why I had the conversation, because there's a lot of women that don't tell men when they have abortions.
So you're equating that with,
So it's like saying,
it's okay for him to have?
no, I'm not saying it's okay. It's not saying it's okay for women to have abortion and not tell her to do it. At least tell her to do it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But his body, his choice. If he had a vasectomy, I don't know. But the whole playing
But
along,
if you knew going into this relationship when y'all got married or whatever it was, if you knew that she wanted children, and if you knew you didn't want children, then why get married? Like, I don't understand.
People get married for the wrong reasons all the time. People get in relationships for the wrong reasons, and then years later you realize, and it all hits the fan. So, only thing I'm saying is it's wrong if he ain't gonna if he see that she's really trying to have a baby and he's not just saying, yo, listen, it's not gonna happen. Like once you go past not just saying, yo, listen, I got my thing snipped. You're not doing this right now. Because then the relationship gets destroyed. So, but then you got the creeps that will not say nothing, play along, because they don't want to lose the person once they say what they have. Once they come clean about.
What if they was to come up with this? What if they was to come and say, "Oh, lie," and say that they're sterile, but knowing that they went and got a vasectomy? They were technically not lying.
You sterile. A vasectomy makes you sterile anyway.
Technically, they're not lying.
Yeah.
It's
ugly. It's
a slippery slope.
All
man.
that is ugly, man. Once you come to my body, my choice, man, all of it is ugly. Now it's all about hoping that a person is just honest. That's it. Now you're rolling the dice on whether a person's going to tell you if. Because, like I said, I experienced the whole wanting to have a baby with a person, believing that was my person. And that person was like, I'm not ready yet. And there was nothing I could say, nothing I could do, and she went and had her abortion. So, I mean, fighting against it, and I just say, like, if you're gonna do that, then when a guy don't want to have a baby and the woman keeps it, they shouldn't be allowed to go to the courts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's nothing is right. Telling a person that you won't keep their baby or whatever, vice versa, is not right. Especially if y'all saying y'all want to be with each other. So obviously only one person is caring about one person's goals and wants. So the relationship is doomed anyway. Everything else is a facade.
All right.
I just know it gets ugly. It gets ugly and grimy. I just want everybody to know, don't act like it's not a grimy side on both ends. It's both sides could get ugly and grimy with this, my body, my choice. And I don't have to tell you nothing. I don't have to run nothing past you. You know how many people want kids? And I know a couple people personally that was not trying to have it. Females that just went to the clinic like, nah, he'll never know.
Wow.
And the dude ain't gonna be like, yo, let's go. I mean, you gotta be headstrong on this baby thing to even go to the doctor and let's check to see what's wrong with you. You're just gonna think you struck out this time. It ain't happened. You gotta keep trying. Like that's how you would think as a man. You wouldn't be like, yo, let's go to the doctor, make sure your eggs is fertile. And we don't do that. Women do that. So if a guy would never know. So it's a sneaky, ugly game. But Planned Parenthood is for people who didn't plan, not just to go there to kill babies or have abortions or whatever, however you want to put it. It's for people who didn't plan, and Planned Parenthood should be like guiding them to how to be a parent independently. Like it should be like a stepping stone instead of just being looked at as a place you go to terminate. You know what I'm saying? Like they just misrepresented. It's been misrepresented, and then there's a lot of women that just don't want to have kids with guys. It's just baffling that they ain't think to like enforce the condom rule or something. Like I don't know. Like I don't know why. Like how many it's pop. They trying to ban it for a reason. I mean, just getting used in large amounts, so it wouldn't even be on the radar. Like it's being used. So, I mean, they gotta like just structure it better, restructure it. Everything needs to be restructured. Like that should be really for like wanting to keep a baby, knowing you ain't gonna be with the father, but you need help and you need guidance. You need young mothers, stuff like that, like to help them prepare for what it is to be a motherhood or whatever you want to call it, instead of when you say Planned Parenthood, the first thing people think is abortions. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just bad marketing, bad everything. They represent it. They got to do that over. It's a lot of things they got to do over.
Discouragement, sorrow, distance. Your arguments cause damage to your family. The hurt leads to divorce. You feel like there is nowhere else to turn. But there is hope for you. That's where we come into play. There is an overcomer that lives inside of you. One ready to take on the world as you leap for joy, living in victory. You'll grow to love yourself and others. There's life after divorce, and you can claim it today. Get Over Divorce, where your new story begins here every Thursday on YouTube and Spreaker.
All right, we're back. Papi Jae Wize El Jefe. We're jumping into the segment that we call Respect the Game, because I don't know if anybody out there who watches podcasts saw the little snippet of Adam 22 on the Joe Budden podcast, but we're gonna go into that. We're gonna get into that topic. That's gonna be our main topic in Respect the Game. So let's just jump right into it. All right, and we're back. Right. So, all right, so like I said before, Adam 22 was a guest on the Joe Budden podcast, and the host, all three of them, Joe Budden and his two co-hosts, kind of attacked Adam 22 in a way that I felt was unnecessary.
Unnecessary, I would not say. I wasn't gonna go as far as saying unnecessary because it got clicks.
Okay.
So there's a method to the madness. But the point they was trying to, like, this notion that white people can't profit off of black people's death and trauma. It's kind of like being like a hypocrite, because black people profit off of black people's deaths and trauma via social media. We ain't going nowhere else but just sticking in the social media realm, where you get to talk about topics. Everybody has a podcast. So any topic that comes up, people talk about it.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's okay if people talk about it as long as they ain't making no money.
Okay, so the topic that they breached on was the Kevin Samuel situation. Adam 22 actually had Kevin Samuel on his show. He had released the episode prior to Kevin's passing. Actually, it was a year ago or so, whatever. And after Kevin Samuel's death, he released snippets of the episode, and they kind of said it was kind of disgusting that he was just trying to profit off of Kevin Samuel's passing. But I looked at it as a way that this was an episode that was already released, especially us, me and you being in the media now, that when you create content, you are to repurpose content. Content is to be repurposed. And that was the time to repurpose that content. This man had his fans, and I'm sure his fans were trying to consume as much content about him as possible. So why not spread these snippets?
And that's what I mean. Like, everybody's passing this. There's somebody talking about it or somebody reporting on it. They do it. Everybody does it. And that's a click. They was more saying the title, I think, how he entitled it. But once again, it wasn't like he was putting out something that was malicious. He was just repurposing his video and then retitling it, because now it's a snippet. If he would have put out the whole interview, then it would be an interview. But it's a snippet, which means you got to title it. And I guess you can't title it unless it's the race or your gender that you belong in these days. Like you can't speak on nothing unless you in that group.
And that's ridiculous, man. But if anything, Adam 22 is more in the streets than any of them on that podcast. So if anyone, I would say he kind of
has the right to interview whoever, and whatever they talk about is what they talk about. If I say I'm gonna get on your thing and do an interview, then you're gonna veer towards whatever. If I got to say so, then you're gonna veer towards the direction I want to go. And then when you talk about people that he's interviewing, everybody's talking. Look, they started this drill shit. So now, anytime anybody do an interview, it's like a shot at somebody. So I don't get how everybody's getting like sensitive towards certain people doing certain things. To me, I think he ain't doing nothing different than academics do.
I'm not a big fan of academics, though.
I'm just saying, like, that type of content, sometimes you just don't want to hear. But there's people that want to hear it. So I can't get mad at them for doing it, because they obviously people that want to hear it. But you can't pick and choose who's allowed to do something because of the color. You feed it into everything else with these colors.
And again, but they go at it like, oh, you can't. It's the culture. But Kevin Samuels wasn't about the hip hop culture. He was about a relationship coach. He was in.
Well, we gotta get this culture thing corrected too, man.
Saying that people were quickly to label it black and white stuff. No, listen, this is content creation. Kevin Samuels.
I want to clarify that I don't subscribe to this culture. I don't know. I'm not a hip hop. It seems like the culture is being dictated by people who's profiting off of people in pain. But then they get mad when somebody else is profiting off of people that's struggling, or black people. But the culture, none of these dudes is my OGs, man. I'm older. I've listened to these dudes say their age on every podcast. I am shocked. It hurts because I'm like that. I'm older than these dudes. And I don't know the culture. They just rewrit some culture. They just I don't know, dude. I'm a POW, man. That's it. That's the group I subscribe to, man. Prisoner of war.
All right. So this is just something like, no, listen. When I saw that and you brought it up, I was like, nah, man, I didn't that clip to me was bull, because again, they were attacking him in a way like they were making it seem like, oh, you can't, you're not allowed to come and do this. Why are you trying to? Basically, what they were trying to say, he was trying to profit off of Kevin Samuels' demise.
So when was he supposed to?
And because he was black, and because he was black, it wasn't cool. It wasn't okay.
All right, so let's take away all that. How all that right now. Today, if he's sitting on these interviews, and the purpose of old interviews or good interviews is to repurpose them, then he would not be allowed to repurpose them no time. That's what they're saying. That's how I look at it. All right, so he did it around his death. So if he would have did it today, same title, same snippet. If he would have not released it around his death and released it today, wouldn't people still say he's profiting off of Kevin Samuels' death?
Yeah, it's
so that's how you know.
People are not respecting the game.
No, they're not respecting.
They're not respecting the game. That's the point. That's why we put this segment in here, is because they're not respecting the game. Like, this man is a content creator. He had this content. How are you going to tell him?
You know how many people wish they could have interviewed him?
So obviously, if Kevin Samuels felt comfortable to interview with Adam 22,
he knew he was going to do whatever with that content. You know, when you do an interview, you are releasing them doing it, using the content and the purpose that they say they're going to use it.
For what they're using it for.
So if he didn't pass away, they would have collabed on that. That content would have came up in a.
It already did come out. That's what I'm saying. This was already an episode that had already been released prior to his death. So Kevin Samuels was around for the episode release.
They was mad because he had the good interview. He got the good.
Obvious, I guess. But Kevin Samuels was on their podcast.
I listened to it.
He was on their podcast.
I mean, he's a good interviewer. He's a good person to have. Like he's gonna tell.
He was. Listen, and I agreed with some of the stuff he said. Some of the stuff he said was crazy. But the man knew what he was doing. He knew his craft. He knew how to get those clicks. He knew how to work these women and get them upset to the point where they were ready to kill this dude.
But in his defense, if you respect the game, some of it is harsh.
And that's why I guess a lot of people didn't like him, because
you gotta give tough love. Tough love is needed these days. There's too many sensitive people out here.
and it's crazy because I was talking about people like that, and wifey, she doesn't know how to, like, she's brutally honest. I'm saying she's gonna tell you how she feels. She's not gonna sugarcoat shit, and so it causes her friction because she tends to rub people the wrong way.
I rub people,
and then it's not that because she means to. It's just that's how she is. She doesn't sugarcoat stuff. She's just abrasive.
It's just not even. It's just enough with the smoke and mirrors, man. The direction is that way. But
people don't. People don't want to see the truth. Understand?
Listen, then keep on crying. That's it. I guess crying solves more than just facing facts, like reality, like just dealing with life on the terms that you put yourself in position to deal with life.
Absolutely.
Because I don't think that nobody, especially at these adults, like you can't, too much blaming. There's too much blaming going on. Everybody got a reason why they ain't trying hard enough, or everybody got a reason why something should be handed to them. Like everybody just has this weird reason of just weird reasoning. It's annoying. Because then you got to raise kids, and like in this generation, raising a child being crazy, like you got to prepare them for all types of scammers, everything. Like you start looking at people different. Now you don't really want to be around people, because if I got to do all this homework to have a good time, I might as well stay home. Like seriously, you got to understand, like sending kids out in the future is going to be hard, man. You're going to be scared to death. You have to deal with it. You're going to be having heart attacks, man. Every time you get a phone call, you're going to be worried. Like there's so much crazy stuff going on. There's a lot of, this is hard to, I told y'all, it's hard to believe in people. And as a whole, as this whole, everybody's in groups. It gets scary. The more groups that pop up, I get scared. I was in the feds. There's mad groups. It gets dangerous.
Yo, you stupid, man.
I'm just saying, there's so many similarities to prison and real life that people don't get. Like, there's groups. There's groups. You got to respect the group.
And it's crazy because I interviewed, today I did a Facebook Live with Natasha Mott. Shout out to Natasha. And we were talking about this. We were talking about how the politics is dividing this country, like Republicans and Democrats. And at the end of the day, we're fighting amongst each other, but they're all lining their pockets. They're all profiting from corporations, and all these bills that they're passing are to benefit these corporations, not to benefit us. But if they got us fighting amongst each other, they're able to do this without a problem. And so this is something that we was discussing, that politics is bull, because they're not passing policy that's benefiting the people. They're passing policies that are benefiting corporations. And so we need to start learning how to play the game.
You gotta respect the game and then adapt. It's an ugly game, but survival of the fittest. If you ain't fit for, you got like it's this is all real stuff. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's always too many groups, man. It starts with all the groups. You got it.
And that's how they want it. They want it divided. They want you broken up in all these different groups. They want you divided. It benefits them to have the LBQTT, whatever. It's a lot of
Be
initials.
careful, buddy. It's LGBT.
Okay, anyway, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but it is a lot of letters. It's just they want us to be separated. They want us to be Hispanics, black, whatever. It doesn't matter. They want division because it's easier for them to control us when we're divided. Now, if we would just come together and agree that everyone is different, we all have our different opinions, we all have our different views, and go about our business, and that's it, then it'll just be a much better place. But if the fact that we can't accept each other and that we want each other to be the same is just ridiculous because none of us here are alike. Everyone is different in their own way. Period.
Listen, when people stop caring what people think and accept them, like you can't do people care too much about what other people think. So it makes all that irrelevant. Because there's always a group that's going to stand for something that you like. At any given time, each group is going to pick what benefits them.
But shouldn't it just be that? Shouldn't it just be that everyone should just be treated equally? It shouldn't be everyone fighting for their rights. That's it. It shouldn't be. Listen, you can marry whoever you want. That's your choice. But it's this thing where we pushing people's beliefs and people's. It's just ridiculous, man. At this age, at this day and age, people just need to realize that we're all different. You choose who you love.
You could be whatever you want to be. You could love whoever you want to love. I respect that. As long as I don't have to play a role in this thing. I may not understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand a lot of things. So when people didn't understand why I was in the streets, people didn't just come to the streets. They just stood away from it. They ain't try to, you need to get out the streets neither. They just stood away. I can respect a lot of things. I'm not changing my language for no one. So I just won't speak to a lot of people. That's it. I'm not going to try to, that's the same. It's just too many groups. And everybody just live your life, then mind your business. Like, mind your business and live happy. You worry about your neighbor. You worry about who your neighbor's sleeping with, who your neighbor go, what car pull up at your neighbor. You worry about way too much, because your life you got to fix your life. Like, you can't get upset.
Worry about you,
you get upset that somebody else is living their dream, and you stuck, and you may not be living your dream, or you thought you was, or whatever it is, It all come from hate. It all come from hate. That's how these groups was formed, from hate. Every group, MLB. How I say
MLB, that's Major League Baseball.
MBL, right? MBL or BLM, BML.
I don't matter. BBL, Black
There's
Lives
mad
Matter.
groups. I'm just saying, it's mad groups. They took all the letters. Everybody got a letter. It started with the police, with TNT and FBI and everything, the government, and now it's flooded the streets. And now it's just letters everywhere. You can't say nothing to upset all these letters. It's very
that's gonna be the title of this episode, man.
It's very confusing, son.
The alphabet games. The alphabet games.
Yeah, alphabet games is insane, man. From A to Z, they got them.
I didn't think about. I was thinking about what I'm gonna name this episode. That's what it's gonna be called. It's gonna be called the alphabet games. Yes.
There's never gonna be any understanding with 1,000 groups. So people really don't want to, because they all fighting for the same thing. Every group, from back in the days to now, all the groups is fighting just to be equal. Nobody's saying give me $1 million. Everybody just saying leave me alone. Let me figure out life.
Yeah,
as long as I don't break the law. As long as I don't break the law, it don't matter what color I am.
Or if I'm not hurting anyone, let me live my life.
Yeah.
Be it as a
I don't
it
want to live
as
your life, so
no.
don't push your life on me. That's what I'm saying
Exactly.
for any group. Don't push your way on me.
And
That's
that's
why I
what
say
and
I'm a
that's what I feel
prisoner
they're
of
doing
war.
a lot now, though. Like they're pushing a lot of people's agenda. And listen,
And like I said, I'm a prisoner of war because this war that's going on with all these groups, I just want to live. And I'm trapped in prison of this war amongst
because now
groups,
you got to be
alphabet
careful. Because
boys
now you
and
got to be
girls.
careful what you say because you don't want to offend anyone.
The alphabet boys and girls. That's what I'm gonna say. The alphabet boys and girls. FBI, CIA,
Is this
LGBTQ, all of them. They all alphabets. Nobody can say I'm lying. FBI, CIA, UPS. Like they're all
Look,
groups.
this dude said
They're all letters.
UPS. This dude said
There's
UPS.
mad groups. You know,
Seriously?
UPS stick heavy.
Yeah,
Now you got Amazon. There's just new groups.
but Amazon is
Mad
not.
groups.
Amazon is Amazon.
Yeah, but they groups. And then people gonna fight for their group. And then people gonna fight for their group. And it's just a bunch of people fighting for their group. Greedy people at that fighting for their group.
Okay. All right.
But shout out to the alphabet boys and girls. I'm not having no beef with none of y'all alphabets.
Is that gonna get? Are we gonna get that to stick now? Are we gonna get that to stick?
Yeah, that's better than
alphabet boys.
That's better than having to remember these letters. You see, I keep messing up Black Lives Matter, and I know how to say it. I don't say it the way I spell it. So yeah, I'm gonna say alphabet people, but I gotta say boys and girls so everybody understand that.
All
Boy
right,
and
man.
girl
You know
by
what?
choice or whatever. I don't care. Boys and girls.
We coming right back. Let's just take this quick break.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.
Steph Curry, Tim Anderson, Jordan Alvarez, and it's caught. Debo Samuel with the catch. Michael Jordan consents. The throw just got the king.
BS3 Network.
The hottest of hot takes, the coldest of cold hard facts. This is Snowman in the Morning with Cole Johnson. Weekdays at 8 a.m. Eastern. Check your local listings for your viewing and listening pleasure.
All right, and we're back. Episode 5, Papi Jae Wize El Jefe. Big shout out to the BS3 Network, Ben, everybody over there. Yeah, man. So now we're about to just go into our freestyle. This is our freestyle session here. So, all right. So the other day, I don't know if I spoke on this on the other. No, I think this happened after that. So the other day at work, I was dealing roulette, and I had a situation where a gentleman insisted on crying and bitching and moaning that I went and hit his numbers. But this man had already been kicked out prior to the night before or whatever for 24 hours for banging on the table, smashing a chip, and cursing at the dealer, I guess. And so I wasn't having any of that. I had just gotten in. It was my first. I was relieved. That was my first table, and it was too early in the morning for this. It was just too. So I straight up with a straight face, kindly, not even with an attitude, and came out and said, "Sir, do I go to your job and act this way?" It's like, do I go to your job and cry? Because if you can't play and lose and not cry, I don't think you should be playing. And he kind of looked at me, because he had already been mean mugging me. Like, even before me saying anything to him, he had already been giving me this look like he wanted to do something to me. So I was just letting him know that I am not the one. I am gonna be the one that's gonna. No, I'm. So I had already signed the EO. I was number one. My pick comes and goes, "Hey, you want to go home?" Yes, I still want to go home. I think it's the best thing if I do go home, because I don't want to say anything more to this gentleman, because I might get in trouble. Even though I'm sure they would have my back, because my floor didn't even say anything to me when I stepped to the gentleman and said the things that I said to him.
Yeah, because y'all not supposed to speak like that, huh?
No, we're not. It's not any customer service. You're not supposed to really be.
I know. I don't know why they do that.
I'm just saying, like, if you can't lose, if you're not there to, you can't come in with the mentality that you're gonna win. And if you can't lose like a gracious winner, then don't play, or at least don't abuse your dealer. Don't come banging on my table. Listen, bet the right numbers. I'm not picking your numbers. You're the one picking your numbers. I'm just not hitting them. And the thing is, it's not like he's playing a lot of numbers. He's playing a little small quadrant. There's 36 numbers.
Yeah.
38 numbers.
Yeah.
Including the 0 and 00. Right? I can't help that you only decide that you're going to play 6 numbers. There's 30 other numbers out there.
They always want to pay their favorites.
They just want to play. He was playing a little. It wasn't even his favorites. He was just playing a little quadrant of 6 numbers. Dude, I got a whole board. Why was I hitting other people's numbers?
Yeah, I guess that's the one game you really can't complain to
You're picking the numbers.
It's like yelling at the person. It's like yelling at the person at the roulette table. Like, there's nothing they can do once that ball gets going.
I spin the ball. That's how I do.
Yo, wherever you put your chips is where you put your chips.
That's where you put them at. That's where you put them at. That's
like those are like the two things I don't see how you could complain. Like, and I understand nobody likes losing, and that's when sound like a degenerate gambler.
Yes, I get it. People do not like losing. I understand that.
That's the degenerate.
Degenerate gamblers, yes.
Yeah,
degenerate gamblers. Yes, they are. They are.
Because there's no way you go to a casino and yell at anybody except yourself when you lose. How you yell at somebody else?
How do you lose thousands of dollars, right? How do you lose thousands of dollars and then get upset? Like, and continue and the thing is, right, they'll get their money back, right? And they'll continue to play. Like, if I'm losing, I know when I'm losing, and if I get my money back, I'm out. They
don't respect the game, yo. Not even when it's a real game.
Yo, these casinos are not built because they give out winners.
Yo, it's still a game that you're playing that you really gotta respect the rules. You know the rules of the casino. We've been watching casino movies since forever. You know there's a lot of scandals going on.
Bro. Listen, the game I would recommend if you're gonna play Baccarat, because it's 50-50.
I heard Baccarat is a good one. I heard somebody else.
It's 50-50, brother. It's 50-50. I'm saying those are probably the best odds you're gonna get. Because you either play banker or player. That's it. There's not much thinking to that. But even though people might think there's a pattern or anything, The cards are the cards, man. The cards are what they're gonna come out.
Listen, may the force be with them. May the force be with those people. Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah. So that was one of my days last week.
I can't imagine being a dealer or anything working. I can't.
You know what?
Deal with...
I can't say that because there's moments when you have a good table and everybody's doing well and the dealer's eating, they're saying they're getting tipped. Those are the tables you enjoy. I'm saying, and lately,
what's the odds? What's the
what?
average? Like odds
Of what? That happening?
Yeah.
Very slim. Very slim. Very slim now. It's very once in an occasion you might get a group that comes sit down and they're a fun loving group and they're sometimes when you get the group that's together that they're there to have a good time, those are sometimes the best games you might deal to because they know each other, they're having a good time. They know that it's just
nobody's talking. Nobody's
they're just
too personal.
they're just there to play and have a good time. They don't care if they lose or whatever. They care that they lose, but they just basically know this is $100 I'm playing and this is what I'm risking, and that's it. And then you just have a good time. But you never know, man. Like the other day, I was dealing crisscross, and I had a great table. Everybody was tipping everybody, but I was also unload. I was giving away money. People were winning, and people laugh because I tell them like, "Yo, I think we don't want y'all to win. We want y'all to win because that means if you're winning and having a good time, more than likely you're gonna tip us, and we survive off our tips. We get paid minimum. Listen, we get paid minimum wage." And when I mean minimum wage, we get paid below $7. We get $5 something an hour. And we rely on tokes. And people don't realize that we don't want you to lose. We want you to win. And hopefully you're tipping us in the process.
I mean, that makes sense. I never got mad at the dealer. I don't believe in none of that stuff.
And then sometimes you just get games. You get games where you get stupid players on it, where they're split in 20s.
I was a stupid player for a long time.
Or if the dealer's showing a 6 and you have a 14, you take a hit and you get a 10, and that would have been the dealer's bus card, and the whole table is ready to punch you in the face.
I had that happen, but not in that scenario. But there was a few times when I first started gambling that
you did stupid moves like that.
I knew that it wasn't. I made the bad move. You don't know until you hear a dealer yell out something. Like I've been that person that the dealer had to like confirm that I was making a crazy.
Bro, you'd be shocked at what people take. I had someone stay on a soft 15, and a soft 15 is an ace and a 4. So which is either 5 or 15, right?
Yeah.
This dude stood on that. Like those are the hands you're supposed to take a hit. You're supposed to take a hit. Yeah, because you can't lose. It ended up not benefiting them because I got a hand.
Oh, so like the rest of the table wanted to kill him.
Oh, bro. They're like, what are you doing? Staying on a soft 15? Come on. It'd be mistakes like that.
I think one time I split like 2 queens. And then it was like splitting queens. I was like, I think I did something wrong. And everybody look, the floor guy, I guess, comes and walks over and just see what you up to, stands by the dealer and just, I was like, oh man. He's like,
it's not common. It's not common to.
Everybody says looking, but that's my problem. In the beginning, I used to just go gamble because I like taking chances. So whenever I see something that looks like a risk taker, just to take a dare, I don't be thinking about the.
That's a real dumb risk take because
I know
you're giving a win. The only thing that could beat you is a 21.
I know, dude. Listen, I've learned. That was my earlier days. I'm way better now. This was back in the days, like first casino couple of experiences. I was just like, yo, let me try this.
Yeah, so
It didn't work.
Can I just sit up on the chippin?
welcome Taino to the Papi Jae Wize show.
Yeah, he's freestyling too. He's freestyling.
He always makes his appearances once in a while. But yeah, I think we're done. This is it for this episode.
That was a good one.
Yeah, we now I'm just
I like
now I
this
gotta
stuff.
I just gotta add the other segment to this now, and it'll be a complete episode. So hopefully everybody out there enjoys this show. It was we did do a little bit more work because we usually record our show completely, and we recorded part of the show one day and we just recorded the second part today. So yeah, which will be aired actually tomorrow.
I need some fucking air.
But all right, so you know how your boy Wise does it. Peace out.
Pieces.